Good morning, good morning, good morning. Greetings and gratitude, family, friends, and viewers. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Akila, and you are on my African-centered travel vlog right here on YouTube. Well, family, I have got the tea. Mother has the tea, honey. And I just got off a 12-hour shift. My brain is tired. My body is tired. But I couldn't sleep without coming to give y'all this information that I found out. I want to take a deep breath and choose my words wisely because I know YouTube is censoring anybody talking about Rona. And two, my brain is a little befuddled because I'm tired after a long shift. So I want to speak accurately. But I have some news. So anybody who is into repatriation, and I tried to do a video, but again, this is not scheduled, it's not scripted, but I had to get this tea out there. So anybody who is into repatriation, anybody who is into relocation, reversing the brain drain, you probably know by now that as of September 1st, the Ghanaian government came out and said that their borders are open for international flights. And so I know a lot of people, I was expecting like a big flood of people to just leave because I know a lot of people who was talking about just relocating as soon as the borders were open. But there's a catch. So Ghana is requiring that you have a negative Rona test within 3 days of boarding your flight. And they are requiring that you have another negative test upon arrival. And that test is $150 and it is your expense out of pocket. Now, a lot of people had a problem with that, not just because of the $150 fee, but the fact that they have to take 2 Rona tests before entering the country. Now, I get it from Ghana's perspective because they're trying to protect the citizens of Ghana. But for those of us that are, hell, you could say seeking asylum, that are running from racism, pretty much don't like that for several reasons. And I know a lot of people just don't like the fact of getting tested because if you're not showing any symptoms, there's really no reason to get tested. But I hear a lot of advertising over the radio and stuff about go get tested. Even if you're not showing symptoms, you could be passing Rona on. The research that I've done from China to Europe to America, you can even check the National Institute of Health.gov. Very rarely do people spread Rona without having symptoms. Does it happen? Yes, but it is very, very, very rare, right? And so people typically have to be showing symptoms in order to transfer Rona to somebody else. And so all this, go get tested even if you're not showing symptoms, I don't understand for that reason, but not just for that reason alone. If you look at the CDC is requiring that you qualify to be tested, which means that you have to be showing symptoms in order to be tested. Okay, which proves my point that if you're not showing any symptoms, the likelihood of you actually passing it on is very rare. So I know that a lot of people are not aware of the fact that there are 3 different types of Rona tests. Now, if you Google it, they'll tell you there's 2, but there's actually 4 that I found out. Now, the 3 that are out there, And I'll mention the fourth one later on because that's the one that is going to blow your mind. That's the T, but you got to wait till the end of the video for that. But a lot of people are unaware of the three different kinds of Rona tests. So there's the PCR that is testing the DNA of Rona, looking for an active infection. Then there's the antigen. It's also looking for an active infection, but it's testing proteins of Rona. And then there is the antibody serum for people who have already had COVID and their body has developed antibodies, and they can draw your blood and tell that you've already had it. So the PCR is the one that Ghana is requiring. So you need to be very careful when you are out there looking for a test. You need to make sure that it is the PCR and not the antigen or the antibody. Now, the antigen, unfortunately, is the one that is most widely used. It is also the one that is handed out false positives and false negatives. And it's the one that's most widely used. But that's not the one that Ghana wants, so that's not going to do you any good. Now, with the PCR, this is a rapid Rona test that you can expect to get results turned around in about 3 to 5 days. But if it's 5 days, it's not going to do you any good because Ghana is requiring that you have a negative COVID. Try not to say that word. A negative Rona test within 3 days of boarding your plane. So I've heard, I haven't been able to confirm for myself, but I've had a friend who has went to her personal doctor this morning because she's looking to fly out in a couple days. And I believe her. I just haven't been able to confirm that for myself that she's getting a test back within 24 hours. But that seems to be the lowest amount of time that I've heard, 24 hours. I've really been hearing like 2 to 3 for this PCR, 5 at the most. But again, 5 won't do you any good. There is a backlog at a lot of these labs, and sometimes it can take them up to 2 weeks to turn around results. That is way too long. By 2 weeks, folks done recovered, developed antibodies, and everything. So what I found out when I started doing a little digging is that this PCR that Ghana is requiring is not everywhere. The antigen one that's handing out false negatives and false positives is the one that's widely used. You are going to find a challenge trying to find the PCR test. But I'm here to tell you there's 2 places that I found that will do the PCR and have a turnaround within 3 to 5 days. And sometimes even 24 hours if you go to your own doctor. This PCR is offered at CVS drugstores here in America and also urgent care clinics. Now, if you don't have any insurance, again, remember you must qualify. So you have to have symptoms. And the symptoms range from headaches, fever, cough, congestion, trouble breathing, diarrhea, runny nose. Did I mention fever? Yeah. And so, of course, you can fake some symptoms in order to get a free test, because you have to show symptoms in order to get a free test, is what I've been noticing. There are loopholes, to every rule, so in cases that, there's people who maybe are going up for surgery, they don't necessarily have to show symptoms if they need a COVID test for, word again. They don't necessarily have to show symptoms if it's that type of situation where you're going to surgery, right? But for the most part, the CDC is requiring that the masses show symptoms in order to get tested. So let's review. I told you I'd been up all night and my brain is a little befuddled. So let me make sure I'm getting my facts straight. It is the PCR that Ghana is requiring. So you need to make sure that it is the PCR test that you are getting. Sweet like sugar. Hey. So I'm basically just going over the information that I found out about the Rona testing that Ghana is requiring. And so there are 3 different types of tests, but Ghana is requiring the PCR. So if you're going to go get tested to get into Ghana, make sure that it is the PCR. And the PCR is not everywhere. You're going to find a challenge finding the PCR. It is the antigen one that is widely used, but that's the one that's handing out false negatives and false positives. And the antibodies is not the one that you need. So that's neither here or there. But it is the PCR that is required by Ghana. And there's 2 places that I've found so far that do the PCR, which is CVS drugstores here in America and urgent care clinics. However, the CDC is requiring that you show symptoms to get the test. And not only are they requiring that you show symptoms, if you don't have any insurance, you might have to pay anywhere from $150 to $250 that I've seen. And then when you get to Ghana, you have to pay another $150 for another test to make sure that you're still negative. And if you're not negative and you test positive, you have to go into quarantine for 14 days, and that expense is yours. It'll be a hotel designated by the Ghanaian government, but nonetheless, that 14-day hotel expense is yours. And so the really, really good news that I found out is that there is a 4th test called the RT-LAMP PCR. And this test, this has been out there for a while, but there is a technology company called Fast Radius Incorporated out of Chicago, a technology company called Fast Radius Incorporated out of Chicago that is right now, currently, as of August 31st, they are manufacturing a cartridge that will yield results from your smartphone within 45 minutes. This will dramatically help the backload of labs that are choked on test results. And as like I said, as of August 31st, this company is manufacturing this cartridge that will yield results from your smartphone within 45 minutes. And they don't have to go way up your nose, because I don't know if I said it here. It might have been on the video I was trying to record before then. I'm a little fuzzy. But a lot of people have a problem with that. And me as a healthcare provider, I have a problem with that too, because, you can swab the inside of my mouth and find out who my daddy is. You can swab the inside of my mouth and find out what drugs I'm on. You can swab the inside of my mouth to find out what African tribe I'm from on the continent, but you got to go way up my nose to find out if I got Rona. I'm not retarded. I just look that way. I wasn't born yesterday, baby. That just don't sound right to me at all. They might be planting something. That's just my opinion. And I've been called a conspiracy theorist before, but it just don't sound right to me. And plus, when I've seen them swab the inside of your mouth for Rona in China, yeah, I don't know what's going on. That's neither here or there. But this RT-LAMP RT-LAMP test has, like I said, been out for a while, but this technology company, Fast Radius, is creating a cartridge where they can take that test and yield results from your cell phone within 45 minutes without going up your nose. And hopefully this will be available to us within the next month or so. Now you got to share this video because they're not, trust me, they're not going to want everybody to know this. This information isn't going to be available to the masses, right? So you got to share this video so that people will know to keep an eye out for Fast Radius out of Chicago. They are currently, as of August 31st, creating a cartridge that will yield results for this RT-LAMP PCR Rona test within 45 minutes from your smartphone. And that's the T, baby. Ooh, I was so glad to hear that. So, very good news. If I gave you some news that you can use, please like, share, subscribe. It helps me with my analytics and lets me know what type of content that I need to create for you guys. But with that being said, I mean, I can go to sleep now because I couldn't even sleep till I got that tea off my chest, honey. So, yeah, that's all I have for now, guys. So remember, Black love is Black power, and I will see you in the next video.